Good afternoon and welcome back to the continuation of our Cyber Monday software showcase. I'm April Jaehn, and this next 30 minutes is going to be a quick peek into one of my favorite softwares. So that's our Patch and Applique Maker. But before we dive in, I would like to take an opportunity to introduce behind the scenes Tammy Madden. So Tammy, join us and let us know what your role in this 30 minutes is going to be.
Well, I am excited to be here to Cyber Money Stitch and Stream. And, my husband is too, because that means I'm not buying on stuff. So he is enjoying me having to work today. So I stay off that computer. But little does he know, I have until midnight, right?
Exactly. So, Tammy, you're
Yes.
going to
Oh,
be over in the chats, right?
absolutely. I'm going to be over in the chat. So if you guys have any questions, please ask them. I will be getting back with April. April has 30 minutes to show you an amazing program. And I know, April, that's not enough time to show all the amazing things, but we're going to try to get it. But also, if you guys need to, you can always find us on Facebook group for additional questions. So please make sure you ask them.
Fantastic. Well, are you ready to dive in?
Let's do this.
Perfect. Okay. Well, I am actually going to start by giving you a small little sample showcase. So it's just a little taste of things that your Patch and Applique Maker is capable of creating and modifying. So Patch Applique Maker, you're looking at all of these different patches I've created right within the software. You can put those on your t-shirts. You can make ornaments. You can make these into hats. This one, our Jolly Tall Society, is for my little grandbaby when we go to the zoo because we read a little book called Jolly Talls. And then you can also put them on unexpected items. So, how cute are these tiny little charms on these sneakers? So you've got patches, you've got applique. You can actually, within our Patch and Applique Maker, you can pre-cut those shapes. And I'm going to talk about that in the software as well. So patches, patches, patches. I made this one for my granddaughter last night. So we're talking applique now. So patches and applique. I use my glitter vinyl, right? And just stitch this out on this cute little onesie. So applique, applique, applique. And then here is like the pièce de resistance, right? You can also modify designs and change them up in the software. So what I did here, and actually this is not mine. So Jeannie, shout out. I begged her to let me use hers because it looks so amazing with the king star and then the different stitches. But what Jeannie did is she took this design and modified the finishing stitch right within the software. And instead of an E-stitch, she used a little stem stitch, little stem stitch, little zigzag around that edge to give it a different look. And the software gives you the ability to do all of that. And see how gorgeous this cave quilt is. It is an absolute stunner in real life. So thank you, Jeannie, for letting me use this. So coming back to our presentation, here's where things get so exciting. So the Patch and Applique Maker software allows you to design and create your own custom appliques and patches without having to learn how to digitize. It's quick, it's easy. There are over 4,300 different built-in designs that you can create and your appliques and your patches. But listen, there are 600 patch designs use as those applique designs as well. So what we're going to do, head over to the software and let me show you this magic. Here is our software. We've got our applique maker isolated. And what I want to show you, if you are new to the Dime software, is that we're there to hold your hand through the process. You're going to have your manual and you're going to have tutorials. Now, when you click the tutorials, what you get are bite-sized videos that walk you through how to use this software. So we want you to come screaming out the gate, playing right within the software. Now, all of the magic of our Patch and Applique Maker is right here in these 4 icons. Okay, so you're going to have applique designs, you're going to have your charm designs, applique shapes, which are your outlines, and then this patch wizard. So where we're going to start is right here in these applique designs. Now, I would like to just showcase just a touch of what comes in the software. When you click on each of these titles, what you're getting are applique files. So AP, that's what that means at the end. And notice how there are hundreds of different files right within the software. So if I go to this food and baking, you're also going to see that there is the plus sign next to some of these. When you click that plus, now you get a breakdown. And so I'm going to start at the bottom of that and work up, and I'll explain why. So within food and baking, you have your applique pieces right at that top. But when you drill down a little bit, now you can get to those patches. And these are already digitized for patches. Now, does that mean that that's the only thing you can use them for? No, you can use those for your appliques as well. But here's something that I love that they were thoughtful on, is that now you have the parts for this. And so coming into holidays and occasions for Christmas, there's only 3 weekends left until Christmas. So if you've not gotten a head start on creating Patch and Applique Maker software, is going to make that super easy. Okay. So drilling down, we're going to come right here to our Christmas, and we're going to choose an ornament. And I'm going to choose this ornament right here. Okay. So this bulb 12 applique. Go ahead and click OK. And that comes up right on my screen. Now let's see how this is going to stitch. We've got an icon right in our screen that it shows us how it's going to stitch. So our placement stitch and then our tack down stitch for that applique. I would actually like this to be an ornament and applique. So guess what? Right within the software, I can change this to a patch if I want to. So change styles, that little t-shirt, and look at all of these different styles we have to choose from. You've got your pre-cut applique, your pre-cut patch, your raw edge applique, and you can choose any of those. So if I just chose my pre-cut patch and click OK, when I select my slow redraw, notice my sequence of events now. See, I still have my tack down, but my placement stitch is this zigzag that is not straddling my line like a normal zigzag would do. It's actually inset. So it takes that deeper bite into your fabric to hold that fabric really securely in your hoop so it doesn't shift and move. So right out of the gate, I can change this to a patch just with one click of my one click within the software. I love sparkle and shine. Listen, I'm a Southern girl. Everything is better with sparkle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this right to a Kingstar metallic palette. And I don't know my alphabets. K comes before M. Let's try that. There we go. And look at this. With one click, I have changed my thread palette to that shiny Kingstar metallic thread. Now, is that all I can do? Nope. Let me show you a little bit more. I'm going to ungroup this. And what if I want these designs, these little visual appeals right here? If I want those to look different instead of having a satin stitch, guess what? I can change that. Over here in the software, I have all of these different things that I can play with and different fills and to give it a different look entirely. So I changed this up. If I wanted that to be a marrow patch, let me show you what that one will look like, because that's actually my favorite one. See how it has that different little bite, so your stitch penetrations stitch a little bit different, and so you get that amazing little finish here, and I love that. So I have the ability to change up our designs as much as I want. Now, how do I get it to my machine? It's easy. Guess what? If you're a Brother Baby Lock, you can send it directly to your machine. So my precious, press send, and then that's going to land in your Wi-Fi. If not, just do a file save as, and look at all of these different file formats that you can choose from. Where am I? There we go. All of these different file formats you can choose from. So every major machine brand format is shown within our software. It is that easy to do. Now, I don't want to cut anything while I'm in the hoop. I would like to have a pre-cut. With one click as well, guess what? I can send this I can make a cut file. So cutter, here's my item. I can save this as my brother's scan and cut 12 by 12. And I've got all of those different file formats for those different digital cutters. So if you've got a Silhouette Cameo, if you've got a Cricut, if you've got that scan and cut, we've got those SVGs and those FCM files as well. So you save that to your USB and then just plug and play. That is how easy this is. So let me show you something else. This time we're going to come over to our Patch Wizard. And the Patch Wizard is so cool because it has all of these pre-done patches that have different fonts, that have different little charms in it, but you're the one who can make these all your own. So jumping in, let me show you how we're going to do those. So I'm going to pop into this badges and ribbons and choose this full circle path. Right out of the gate, you can see that you can change the sizing of this patch right here. I'm going to skip my designs for just a moment and come right back, but I can also change my text within the patch as well. It will retain that font that you have. And now I don't want this open in the center. So I've got a section to where I can add those charms. So when I click this change, what it does is it pulls from these little charms right here at the top of our screen, this icon up here. And look at all of these absolutely adorable little charms that you have to choose from. Now, these are small designs. So think 1 inch, maybe 1.5 inches that you could put on patches. You can put within your lettering. So smaller designs. Now, Jolly Tall needs to be that giraffe. Click OK. Click OK. And look at my patch that is ready to go. So from here, I'm going to change that style to that marrow. Click OK. And look at how it changed how that looks. Again, one click, I can send it to my cutter, right? I can send it to my machine, or I can save it as that regular file format and plug and play with my USB. Now, finally, I'm going to show you some text, right? Okay, text. I'm a new grandma. Well, she will be a year old next month, or actually this month. Oh my gosh, the time has gone by so fast. So Olive Blossom, my baby girl, we are going to use, so I clicked my text button, clicked on my screen to activate this. And look at all of the text that come right within the software. You get applique fonts, you get small fonts, you get monograms, and regular sized fonts. So you really have a powerhouse right within Patch and Applique Maker. So I'm going to choose this Bauhaus and click OK. Apply rather. All right. That's cute just as it is, but let's add some more because you know what? We're extra and I don't mind that. Now from here, I'm going to come into my charms and look at these cute little butterflies. So in gardening and plants, look at all of these cutie little designs you can choose from. Olive blossom makes me smile, so I need some butterflies around my olive blossom. I'm just going to move that off of my word and ungroup these. So I just right-clicked and ungrouped. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group them back individually. So hovering over them, right-click and grouping, hovering over, right-click and grouping these together. And so now what I can do is I can move these around on my design. I can get rid of that artwork that I no longer need. And look at what you can do right on your screen. So I can rotate these right on my screen. I can also, so rotate this one and let's size this one a little bit. So right on my screen, I can make all of these the size that I want. But this is not a patch. This is not an applique. So let's rectify that. One click. Let's make an outline around this. I know I want a satin stitch. So I'm going to do a bigger distance with a rounded edge. I love that look. And I'm going to send that to my cutter because I don't want to cut that out in my hoop, right? And then I'm going to save this as that steel stitch. Let's change that. If I want to make it into a patch, you know that marrow is my favorite. That's going to change that up. I now have my cut file. I now have, I can send it to my machine, or I can do a file save as, and let's see how this is going to stitch out. So my olive, there we go. There's my design. Oh, and it's a good thing I ran my stitch player, because I need to move that applique to the front. Because you notice when I ran that stitch player, this is something I absolutely love within the software, is that I can see how that's going to stitch out right before I even put thread to fabric. Okay, heading back to the software. So before we head to our chat, I would like to talk pricing. And this Cyber Monday pricing is going to get you that Patch and Applique Maker software and 5 software success tutorials to help you begin learning immediately, plus beginning today. All of your software purchases are going to be housed at OESD.com. So if you're purchasing through OESD.com, you'll have access to all of those serial numbers within the new My Software section. And we are thrilled about this unveiling. Okay. Now, we're also going to offer half price private lessons if you book today. Now, this is a 30-minute one-on-one session with a software expert. You're going to get all of your questions answered at a date and time of your choosing. Now, I can't believe 17 minutes have already popped by. So I'm going to pull Tammy in and see what kind of questions we have on what I've demonstrated so far. Tammy, you're up.
Well, April, what a lot of information you're giving them, and that's one of the questions I have. Mary Ann, we are familiar with Mary Ann. Thanks for being here with us today. She wants to know, will we be able to watch later? You know, during our regular events, we're always giving them 48 hours. So are they allowed to watch these videos for longer than just airtime?
So you are going to get until tomorrow at noon to watch and rewatch and get this special pricing for our software. So it is not just right now. We're going to give you a little bit of breathing time, because you might want to do shopping other way and other places. But we want you to come back to us and at your own convenience, watch and rewatch and shop till you drop to get all of those softwares that tickle your fancy.
Absolutely. And I'm going to show a comment from Joanne. You know, Joanne is one of our biggest fans, and she says, truly my own personal favorite Dime by OESD software program. A bit biased, maybe, but I love how it pairs with Just Jackets collection. So thank you,
Oh my
Joanne.
God.
She is
Yes.
always great to have here with us today. But April, you know, are we Mac compatible, or do they need a parallel to run the software?
Nope. So a few months ago, our designers, our software designers, figured out that way to make it truly Mac compatible without any parallels, without any boot camp. So it is Mac native language. Now, when you purchase your software, keep in mind this is going to be a digital download. So you're going to be able to get this as soon as after the presentation finishes, right? So you will get an email that has 2 different registration codes that you can use on your Windows machine or your Mac machine. So 2 registration codes, one on your Windows, one on your Mac, or just 2 wherever you want to use those. So you'll be able to play right out of the gate as soon as you check out.
Absolutely. And April, just so everybody knows, over here in the chat, I did share the link with it that will give you directly to the software. So you don't even have to search for it if you don't want to. But while you're there, though, I do highly recommend you check out, because we even have some of our Black Fridays deals still available. Lots of great pricing on a lot of different products. I know I'm going to go
Mhm.
shopping later on. But April, that's all the questions I have for you at this time. So I'm going to let you get back to it, because I know there's a lot more in store in the next 10 minutes.
Right, exactly. Okay, well, we're going to jump right back into the software. Again, this one is my favorite. So trying to keep this in the 30 minutes was difficult for me. Okay. So, what did I show you so far? I showed you your applique designs, I showed you the patch wizard. I talked about the charms and how you can pull those into your patch wizard. And Next thing, we're going to come back to our applique designs and we're going to talk about those parts. Because remember how I said each of these categories, they've got the parts as well. Now, okay, so what does that mean? That means that it's kind of like a Build-A-Bear kind of thing. So instead of, let's pull those presents. So when I come to my primary applique folders, notice I've got several different presents. But what if I didn't want this bow on this present? I wanted this wonky looking gift, but I wanted a different bow. Well, we thought of that. So within your parts, it breaks that down. So you can pull that wonky gift box and add the bow you want. And I love that. I love the thoughtfulness of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into our parts and we are going to pull. What are we going to pull this time? We're going to pull our Christmas tree banner. Okay, and see how cute this is right out of the gate. So I can stitch this out just like this if I wanted to. But listen, that's why we have software. We want more, right? We want the ability to do what we want and kind of morph designs to make them our own. So what did I do? First, I ungrouped this design. I'm going to pop over here to my tree. And notice that if I don't want that satin stitch, I'm not stuck with that satin stitch. I can do a tackle twill and see how that looks. That straddles that line. If I don't want it to straddle my fabric and I want a bigger bite, look, I can come in and do a 75% inset. So it only clicks over a little bit into that design and it takes a bigger bite out of your fabric. You're the one in the driver's seat. With my tackle twill, I've got an E-stitch. So let's look at that E-stitch. Now with this one, I want my inset to be 100%. I want it to hug that tree because I don't want that design coming outside of my fabric. I want it to hug that fabric and take a bite. Now listen, what I want to show you right here at that top, that blanket stitch, for this point, don't even worry about it because I'm going to show you some magic to get rid of that. I like my applique width and my stitch width to be smaller bites. So I love a 2.3 blankets or E-stitch. It makes that nice and tight. And if I were to change this fabric, let's grab that. If I were to change this fabric, look right here in the software, I can audition all kinds of fabrics. I am a glitter girl, so if we did a glitter vinyl, let's use this grass. Look at how that shines like a new penny. Now, under the camera, I had shown you he's an angry elf, and I use that glitter vinyl. So don't be afraid to play and audition with those audition those fabrics. Now, if I wanted to stop here, I could and send this to my machine, but I don't want to. Let's go big. Let's just go big. If I want to change this stitch, I showed you this under the camera at first. Let's try that random stitch so you can see what that one looks like. See how that looks like a tree trunk? So it gives you more realism. But this little blanket stitch at the top of this tree is just bugging the snot out of me. I am going to go into my charms and let's go into holiday. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and search for a star. You do have the ability to search right in the software. So I've got those stars. I've got those stars. I've got this star. Let's see what else. I've got the Fiesta star. I've got triple stars. So see everything that we have right in the software, right at your disposal to play with immediately. All right, so which one do I want to go with? So let's go back. I'm going to go back to that triple star because I liked the look of that one. And if you want to put 3 stars at the top of your tree, you can, but I'm not going to. I'm going to ungroup that. So I just did a right click and delete these ones that I don't need. Let's ungroup that again, or break that apart rather. And so now I can get rid of those outlines. Group this one back together, and I am going to put that on top of my tree. If I want to make this bigger, guess what? Who's in the driver's seat? We are. So I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And now I've got my tree with my star. I can send that just as it is, but again, I'm not ready. So let's add some text. I'm going to pop over here. Let's do a small Bauhaus and type in joy to the world. Joy to the world. If I can spell, if my fingers will work for me today. Click OK. Here is my file. It's my joy to the world. And where do I want this? I want to pop that right into my banner. But notice my banner has got that curve. Don't worry about it. Guess what? We've got you covered. Let's come back into that text, and I can grab that text and curve it to fit into my space. So look at this. So my joy to the world right here. I can change that file color if I want. So let me grab that joy to the world. Let's add that into as a gold. And look at what we've created just right in the software with a can design. We made it completely our own. Again, let's run that stitch player to make sure all of my sequencing is right. We've got our tree trunk, our applique, and now we've got our banners. Fantastic. And my joy to the world to finish. I love that. How beautiful is that? And now it's just a matter of, let's see, we started that at 21 minutes, 5 minutes of talk time. And now we've got a design that we can send right to our machine. Let's do one more, okay? And this time we're going to use our applique shapes. So we've ran through all 3 of these, but we've not done our applique shapes. And just like all of our other ones, we've got animals, we've got borders. And I mean, okay, let's just look through. Just in the animal section, look at all of these different items that you have to choose from. I mean, it really is such a powerhouse software that you can't go wrong with the Patch and Applique Maker. So again, I'm going to come down to my Christmas, and let's make that little elf hat, or let's make that little onesie like I made for my little olive blossom. Elf is one of my favorite Christmas movies. And so from there, let's make a little elf onesie. So we've got my elf hat. Let's see how big this elf hat comes in. So she comes in pretty robust. I can go ahead and change this right here in my software. I can also change this using the functions right on the machine as well, because this is going to go on a little 12-month onesie. So you notice that 6-inch hat is going to be way too big. Okay. If I want to change this up, look at this. I'm going to use an advanced stipple. Let's change that to a baseball. And let's see what that looks like at that size. Oh, that's a pretty good size, huh? I like it. So you can do kind of quilting within your individual items as well. So let's choose that little ruff on the hat. And let's see what we like for this one. Look at all of these different ones we have to choose from when we come into our advanced stippling. It's so much fun to play in the software. You get all of these different advanced stipplings for your Patch and Applique Maker. Let's go ahead and see what that blossom is going to look like. And look at how cute that is. If I wanted to put fabric behind that, guess what? I can do that too. Let's do that glitter vinyl. Let's do that glitter vinyl for the top of the hat as well. Let's do a light green on that one. But what that's going to give is it's going to give you a little bit of texture right on your appliques. I love that feature. All right, so let's now come in and let's add some text, because everything needs text. And he's an angry elf. Exclamation. We're going to use our Century font. There we go. We're going to keep that size as is, and we're going to put this on a circular path. We're going to put it on a circular path. If I click apply, there we go. So zoom out. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's put this on our design and make this big. Boom. So from here, if I want to give a little bit of room around my words, I can. So see these little triangles? I can adjust my words or my letters. If I want this to be expanded within that text path, I can do that as well. If I want this rotated on this text path, I can do that as well. I'm going to hit my little bestie button to take me right back. And look at this cute design that we just created within 2 minutes in the software. Okay, so back to the presentation. With that, be sure to tune back in at the top of the hour. The lovely Ashley Jones is going to showcase our special FX software. So if chenille, plaid, 3D foam, and fringe is your jam, you're not going to want to miss this. Okay, so don't forget about special pricing. Don't forget to tune back in at the top of the hour. And I'm going to bring Tammy Madden back in to see what kind of last minute questions we have.
Well, April, we just told them the biggest question over here is how long can they rewatched? They asked where they get the specials at. I did share that link with them. So it looks like all of our questions have been answered for now.
Fantastic. Okay, don't forget to book that private lesson. Don't forget to grab your Patch and Applique Maker at that low, low price. And we will see you at the top of the hour.